we kill all the gamers, this won't be a problem. Holden, what's your best Goofy accent?
Boy!
Boy.
Welcome to the Neon Apes.
No, you got to do it in the Goofy accent.
That was my attempted Goofy
All at
accent.
the same time. Boy. Welcome to the Neon Apes.
Welcome. Now that we're well introduced to Neon.
Yeah, we don't have to.
Well, we don't have to do shit.
So we're gonna just sit here staring at
I say we
camera.
talk in deep southern drawls for the whole
We went from
episode.
Goofy to Southern.
Can I? Hiya, kids. No, that felt really weird. I did not like
We just
that.
awoken something in Red. He,
Dark, some
Yes.
evil.
I prefer my Mickey accent. Hiya, Goofy.
so
Which Mousecatool helped us break into the studio today? It was my Glock 19. All right.
I'm honestly speechless. I don't have anything to add.
I
Worse,
feel like I'm
really?
going to regret doing this, but like once again, ate some random gas station getables, and here we are talking in Goofy tongues.
You're gonna be
All
trying
right.
to get a job in like 20 years from now at some like prestigious law firm, and like you're gonna go through the entire interview process, and at the very end, he's gonna be like, "So, he like turns a laptop around, presses the space bar.
He's like, so what do you have to say for yourself about?
There's
Wait,
been a
aren't the
lot
gas
worse
station
things.
edibles legal? That's like someone talking
No,
about
we're not talking about that. We're talking about the monstrosity that I unleashed at the start of the episode.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll have a problem with gas station edibles. Also, if I am ever applying for a prestigious law firm, know that my life has gone very wrong. I'm not doing it by choice, and I'm being held against my will.
Cool.
I didn't follow the one piece of advice. I
Your
told
clothes
both of you
changed.
guys. My clothes changed. We totally aren't filming these back to back.
Oh, yeah, it looks goofy.
Man, God bless the people who still watch this shit after
Dude,
we just
yeah.
take the Goofy.
We have
voice
just
for a
eliminated all of
minute.
our audience.
Yeah, for like
right
the
then,
two
right
people
there.
on Spotify that
99%.
enjoyed
the
that.
couple that are left are the realest motherfuckers.
They're honestly,
on the
they're
planet.
probably some really old couple in like South Carolina that has dementia that just doesn't know what they're watching, but
They don't know how to. They don't know
Good
how to-
shit, though.
they don't know where the remote
You,
is.
you
They
liking
can't
this,
change it.
Gertrude?
So they
We
just-
made this just for y'all.
Gertrude,
they wait
this is for
every
you.
episode for a new episode to come out because they just
just
they
watch it
can't
on loop.
switch it off. So
No.
they've been very devastated. Actually, they
haven't talked to
died
them.
of a heartbreak.
That wouldn't surprise me.
From our
we haven't
2-month
talked to
break.
them in 3 months.
Rip.
Rip.
Wow.
So video games.
So yeah, speaking of death, I die a lot in Elden Ring, and it is not fun, but it is at the same time.
Yeah, so I want to preface this by Red always gets super addicted into a video game, and he only
Literally,
plays that video
yeah.
game.
It's been like that since I was a kid. Like with Harry Potter, I've talked about that past and like how I got really into that. And I
Yeah.
would just reread the books. It's that same mentality. Like it's all I can think about and want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just
So-
get into a video game and play it nonstop, and I
Yeah.
can't play anything else.
So I think we were getting back into Borderlands. So you were messing around with Borderlands, and then
I beat the game in a half.
yeah, probably a
casually.
million times. Yeah, you started playing.
No, like that last time I got into Borderlands, I beat the game, did all the DLC, and then beat it halfway.
So yeah, you did everything you could. So what game did you start playing after that?
It was Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of
and
Tsushima. Okay.
Despite what I say, I am going that. I love that game. It was so good. However, I needed something a little bit harder.
Yeah, and I had done messed up because
fucking gaslit me.
I thought that Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro
Were the same game.
exact same game.
So
right?
like I'm playing the game and he walks into the room and he's like, have you faced like a large monkey yet? And I'm like, what? I'm only fighting humans. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, Ghost of Tsushima has no anything other than like humans and dogs. I was like, no. But I was really intrigued because I wanted the mythological
I
aspect.
kept playing it up. I was
And
like,
yeah, he was like,
wait until
yeah,
you get
just
to
wait,
big
just
mon-"
wait.
And you kept asking questions. I was like, nope, big monkey.
That's all he would say
And I
is
just
big
like
monkey.
literally over the course of a week and a half, I was like, hey, you get to the big monkey? Get to the big monkey yet? And I'm on the phone with our voice of God,
Bernie.
Bernie. Bernie Matthews.
Bernie Matthew
Bernie
Bush.
Matthews. And I'm like telling him, like, I'm like, talking about all this. I'm like, oh yeah, he started doing this. And Matthew was like, I think you're thinking of the wrong game or something. He was like, are you thinking of like
Sekiro.
Sekiro? And I was like, oh shit. Red is gonna be fucking pissed because I was hyping it up, and I kept telling you like you turned it on to hard mode, and I was like, just you wait, just you wait, and then it never did
Because Ghost of Tsushima is not a Souls game.
Yeah,
Sekiro is a Souls game.
It's made by the people. What was it? Infamous. I think we looked up.
Oh yeah.
They made the Infamous games.
Yeah, and I see that a lot in Sekiro.
Yeah,
but that game is that was a lot of fun, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, man, I'm a fucking bitch for character customization. I suck that shit up like it's so good. Like that, exactly. We could work on that a little bit, but you get the point.
I like my suck.
I like your suck, Dan.
I don't like a suck.
Well,
anyway,
Dan's suck will be for me, not you.
No, I'm gonna watch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was for them. They're watching.
Gertrude. This is for you.
This is for you, Gertrude.
Anyway, so I was playing Sekiro, and I was like, man, I just want character customization. Holden barges in the room. He's like, have you heard of Elden Ring? And I was like, yeah, it's like that. It's a Souls game. I've never really.
Because after you started then going to Sekiro, which is the other Elden, or like it's made by the Elden Ring people.
Software, yeah, from software.
Yeah.
And I got like pretty far into that. Like I beat the boss that Matthew couldn't beat.
Oh, because wait, Matthew, you played Sekiro? I know you played.
How do you know what boss I got stuck on?
Anna. It was the general dude, like the person, what the fuck is it? Like Genobu or something like that, is like the one in the tower, and he's like the one who kidnapped the boy you were trying to protect.
Huh?
Oh yeah, I got stuck on him.
But
to be fair, I stopped going to him. I was more stuck on the butterfly girl.
Butterfly girl. Do you remember that?
No, I
in
did
the
not.
flashback.
I did not. No, the only flashback
So he got
I did.
further than you?
I guess it was like non-linear. I beat a boss, but he got
Huh?
Did you beat the
There's-
butterfly boss?
There's the main story, and then there's like that flashbacks.
Yeah, I never went back to that. I guess I should have. But anyway, so I was about that point when Holden was like, have you heard of Elden Ring? And I started looking up videos for that, and I was like, fuck me, I gotta buy this game.
Yeah, like you bought like three different games because you had bought in Ghost of Tsushima
No,
for
I
30.
already own that. I already own that.
Okay.
It was Sekiro for like
Sekiro
40,
was like 30, 40, and then
Yeah.
Elden Ring for
60.
good old 60.
Good old $60.
Good old 60.
But I gotta say, as I've been like real busy, doing stuff. But I'll just like go into into the room, and he's like playing, and just it is so funny watching him attempt to play the game because these are your you've never
terrifying.
played the Souls games, right?
I mean, besides, I beat a little bit of Sekiro, but yeah, I've never, yeah.
So like, I don't think, and like, I don't play the Souls games either. The one experience I have of Dark Souls, which I'll just get out of the way because we're gonna more be talking about Red's experience.
Daniel's too. I mean,
But
Daniel-
yeah, and you're
I have a shit ton of
Daniel's
experience
got one
with
of
Dark
these.
Souls. I
Daniel's
love
got one of
games.
gamer
these.
here. Yeah.
Played
So
1, 2, 3 fucking played
Elden Ring?
Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Never got to what do you call
Sekiro.
it? Sekiro.
How do y'all
Yeah.
keep forgetting that name? Sekiro. It's pretty easy. It's very unique.
it's
I don't
a
know. It's aliens. They keep beaming
yeah,
the thoughts out
yeah,
of my head.
the
None of
aliens,
your
yeah,
games.
yeah. 'Cause
I
I
never
can't
even saying the
disprove
full
that
title.
that's,
It's Sekiro.
Shadows
Die twice.
How
So
many
you
times?
forgot the name.
I know the full name, but no one says that. If they're gonna say that, they do. What is it? SSDT. Yeah, bro. Talking about SSDT.
Makes it sound like a Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah.
That's actually the
DDR,
secret.
Dance Dance, DDR.
Hook it up to the Wii and use motion controls.
Yeah. But
You were saying though, the one Souls
yeah,
game
so
that
the only experience I have with Dark Souls was I tried to play Dark Souls 2, and this was like back in the day when we would all just like be on Discord together playing separate games or whatever. And I remember getting my ass fucking kicked, and I was like expecting that, right? Like a Dark Souls game is gonna kick your ass, right? But like I swear, I kept telling everybody in Discord, I was like, no,
Oh, yeah.
guys, like. I know Dark Souls is like hard, but like something
is wrong.
Something is awry here, guys. And everyone's like, nah, you're just being a bitch. And then I start mentioning how like I had joined like a clan or something in the game, and
Join the Champions Covenant.
yeah,
right?
and they were like, wait, like, so long story short, the game does not fucking tell you that you are turning on hard mode. But I accidentally turned on hard mode on Dark Souls. And what does that do? Do you know what the exact modifiers it does? Or
I think it's like increased enemy health. It might be like 2 times. I don't know the exact number,
Yeah.
but like you hit less and the enemies hit for more and
Yeah.
have more HP.
it's never
so that
a
was
good
the
combination.
first. That was literally the only like clan I saw. It wasn't like I saw multiple clans and chose to pick that one. I guess I did
Well,
not stumble on the other clans.
like noob clan, like right in the area where that was. You just missed it.
Yeah, so I
like I
just-
know for a fact that is like fucking 10 meters away from where the hard mode
Yeah,
covenant is.
so I enabled that.
How did you
and,
miss the noob clan, Holden?
Dude, half of Dark Souls is just knowing the esoteric bullshit needed to like advance in that game, and I love it.
It's a wiki game.
Yeah,
It
essentially,
is.
yeah.
Because so now going into the way
Elden
you
Ring,
play
yeah.
it, right? Normally, I guess I'm sure Dan can attest to this. The way a lot of people play Dark Souls is like you get to a boss and you just have to like smash your face up against a wall for 10
Minimal
minutes. So
space
I'll let
smashing.
you explain kind of your.
So essentially, I like to break things, and in Elden Ring, there's a lot of breakability.
You're like
so
a rogue playing it. These tricks.
a rogue who's a samurai, but yeah. Anyway, I just looked it up. I was like, best things to do early on, and this dude was like, yeah, go to this church. It's in the first region. It's gonna teleport you like 4 regions away, where everything that looks at you will kill you. Run past it. It's fine. Don't interact with it. Go down this little crevice. Hop down this thing. You'll see another church. Climb up that, and then there's a dragon outside. The dragon's not gonna attack you, but it's very scary. So just chop away at the dragon until it's dead.
So just straight up, like, did it like even like was it moving?
No, it didn't attack
That's
you at
so
all. It was
weird.
sleeping there. And I think if you approach it from the front, it would alert everything and it would be a boss fight. But approaching from the back or something along those lines. Because, yeah, I chopped it down and gained like 70k XP like that. Jumped from level 1 to like level 35.
I was wondering how you were so high level in like the starting area.
I got cheese,
You're
dude.
still getting your ass
Yeah,
kicked.
I've
what have
gotten a
you-
lot better
Tell
though.
everyone what you've been doing for hours.
Oh, okay, not
Literal
hours. I've probably
hours.
spent maybe an accumulated hour on the rock. That's probably it. No,
No, you did at
I've
least
only done
an
it
hour
twice.
that one night I was
no,
sitting in there
I had
with
the timer
you.
going. I literally had my phone going. I did it for maybe 25 minutes. I swear to
Explain
God.
what the rock thing is.
So
So
the-
people don't know.
So the rock is in the same area that teleports you across the map. There's like this little like waypoint that you can go, and essentially you go down this cliff, and like right before you get to like a certain part of the cliff, a big ass fucking boulder spawns right behind you. If you dodge out of the way, it's gonna like try and track you a little bit, and it just falls off the cliff. And if you watch it fall off, it gives you 2k XP.
Oh wait, like you have to literally be looking.
You have to
in
watch
that
it. Yeah,
direction?
if you don't look at it, it won't give you the XP.
I didn't know that.
Or if it doesn't fall off, like it has to fall off. I've tested a little bit. It has to fall off like at a certain like area.
What if there's like a little goblin?
no, it's
that
literally
you're
death.
killing.
No,
like
it's
that's
death
down
on the
there.
other side of the thing. There's nothing down there. It's like I've looked over it and I've fallen. There's
There's a
nothing.
goblin inside the ball. You're killing a poor little goblin.
Fuck that goblin.
Schrodinger's
Schrodinger's
goblin.
Because when
Goblin.
you don't look at it, it's there's not. A
Oh yeah, there's no. It's not there.
the goblin's
yeah.
not there.
Goblin.
But no, I haven't even done that much. I mean, and I didn't
Probably
even
gained
really.
an extra like 10, 15 levels from
No,
that.
no. Because like I did the big ass one first, and then like that gave me to like level 33, and I'm only like level 40 now, and I've gotten
Yeah.
significantly farther.
So you're just having to, because I guess you're not used to the difficulty of these games.
Make it easier.
You're having to level up 35 times at the beginning of the game.
Also-
Now, it's
for-
interesting watching you play because, like, I don't know, you have a different way of just approaching every problem, you know?
Keep in mind though, I just played like 2 very high stealth games, so like my instinct is to crouch in the bushes and wait for them to turn their back so I can kill them.
There is, kind of stealth mechanics in Elden Ring.
I don't think it's that good. From
There's
what I've
more
read
stealth
on the wiki,
mechanics in Elden Ring than other Dark Souls games, I guess.
not Sekiro.
Yeah,
yeah,
not Sekiro.
Sekiro
Sekiro's definitely stealth gameplay.
It is like Sekiro, like an enemy, like a boss will have 2 health bars. If you can get the jump on him and attack him from above or behind, it'll just take out one of the health bars instantly.
Yeah.
And like that's huge. Like but
Yeah.
Elden Ring's a lot of fun.
Except every time I hear you just literally
That's what I enjoy it.
scream
I enjoy
at
it.
the top of your
That's why I
fucking
was
That's
late.
why
That's
it's
why I was
great.
late getting here was because I beat Godric the Grafted, who's like a pretty big boss in Stormville. Like it's like one of the first big bosses that you face. I finally beat him after doing like I was on that dungeon for probably like 8 hours out of that gameplay that I have, and it's just a lot. I finally beat him and I keep going and I like look up the thing to respec is at the next boss. So I was like I went to the next area and it was like this whole thing. But anyway, I got to it thinking I was gonna face like the main boss. No, there's a side boss that is a big ass fucking what is it? A wolf? Yeah, it's a red wolf, and that thing fucking hurts. Like I was dealing like maybe like. I don't know how to describe it, but like 5 hits was enough to kill him with my slash. 2 hits was enough to kill him, or for him to kill me. So it's like I was dealing a lot of damage, but he was dealing a lot.
yeah,
of
Red-
damage.
Every boss past the early game will kill you in 2 hits.
Really?
That's what I told him
Yeah.
at the very beginning of him.
Vigor.
Yeah, even with vigor.
But
All right,
vigor-
all right, maybe 3 hits if you have good vigor. and like good armor.
Because when Red first like started jumping into these Dark Souls games, I just kept saying, I don't think you understand. I do not think you
That's what
understand.
that's what
you
he
were
was saying
getting
for Ghost
into.
of Tsushima. He
That's
definitely
fair.
got
That probably
that
skewed
game's easy
everything
as
because
fuck.
I thought that was Sekiro.
Now-
Because I had watched a the reason I kept talking about the big monkey, we probably should have talked about this, was if you have played Sekiro, you probably know. But I had my only experience with what I thought was the same game was video game Donkey playing Sekiro and getting to the big monkey boss. And spoiler alert, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you kill the big monkey, like you chop his head off.
Shadows die twice.
And
it comes
you
back.
gotta kill him again.
Yeah.
And like it's like
Not
a
only
super
that,
scary.
it's scary because he
fucking
picks
thing.
up his fucking head in a big ass sword that was stuck in the cliff and starts attacking you with both.
So he's like swinging his head.
Yeah,
at
you know, you saw it in the like Donkey's video.
Well, no, because Donkey's video, he fought the normal boss, and then right like as the guy started getting back up, Donkey screams and
and
it
left.
cuts to
Yeah.
that's the end of the video.
No, okay, I thought that was his video. No, I've seen more gameplay. Yeah, he uses his head and his big ass sword to
Oh, I
attack
didn't
you.
know that.
Man,
So-
I love the parts in FromSoft games where they decide to just like bully the player. It's just so nice.
Yeah. So
And
like
also like
Daniel's a
the community in
masochist.
From. Honestly, like my
I am
taste
too,
in
but-
video games is all really stupidly hard bullshit. Like Battle Brothers, that game is a fucking. It is so much to just be passable at it. Fucking there's
Dota
this
2?
new game, yeah,
Yeah,
Dota 2,
Dota 2.
Dark and Darker. It's like this looter shooter. It's not a shooter. It's like D&D medieval themed, and that game is really hard if you play solo. So I play solo because I don't know.
you want pain.
Pain's.
I got a
It's
question.
all right.
Do you enjoy pain so much that you don't summon like? Because you know how you can summon.
Yeah,
the,
no, I never summon. I think that. Well, I think it's a valid way to play the game, but I feel like I'm cheating myself if I summon, so I don't summon.
Wow. See, I summoned like the people just to like learn it like the first time and use them to
I
beat
do
it.
want to say I also like optimize the fuck out of my build, so
I like
like,
min-max.
and you probably aren't.
No.
Dude,
Trust me, I'm,
Oh, you're
everything he
min-maxing?
plays
Yeah.
in Elden
Get
Ring,
good.
he's already
I was gonna
seen
say-
on YouTube.
I was gonna say like my whole like the Nagakiba blade. I got that 2 areas before I was supposed to.
Sam, you might be min-maxing more than me. I just pick a weapon with like good stat scaling, and I know what the soft caps are.
No. I looked up how to get the best blade in the game early on. And
Yeah,
went
I
and
swear,
got it.
like to me, like I
He's
don't
a
play these
rogue.
types of games, but like to me, it seems like you're almost like spoiling everything, right? Like looking at a YouTube
you
tutorial, you're
kinda
watching
have
the
to.
walkthroughs before you
I-
even get to the parts in the game.
I do that with the game, yes. I've done that with other games in the past, but it's really just the sheer difficulty of this game and the fact that it doesn't tell you where to go. Like I don't know what to do. I'm 15 hours in and I genuinely don't know.
Maybe it's because you went halfway across the fucking mat where you weren't supposed to at the
I did
beginning.
nothing. No, that was just like a whole
Because
little.
like if you had, because like
I mean,
I
but
wa-
like literally just go into the unexplored areas. Like,
right, but then that's just like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just killing shit. I'm
yeah,
killing shit just to
exactly.
kill
Like,
shit.
Your
Why?
whole goal is to explore and advance until you find the next bit to advance the plot. Like that's a big part of
But
the
see, there is
like,
no
fun
plot.
of the games.
The quest lines are like, yeah, so
Okay, yeah,
travel
you
to
got
this
me there.
vague cove over in the mountains of Nawabala, and you'll find a thing in a crevice that you're supposed to
Find
get for me.
The
or-
Alvernaic woman,
Just,
or
like,
like whatever
random-
that one NPC says it like 1,000 times.
Which one?
The armor guy at the round hole table.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Where?
Yeah.
Like, so I
See,
look it up.
I thought it was the opposite because I watched another one of my favorite YouTubers, Game Maker's Toolkit. He made a whole video
yeah.
on the open world.
I need to watch that.
Aspect of like Elden Ring and how it guides you through. Like, 'cause I thought that it had been a good open world in
oh, it is a good
directing
open world.
directing
Like,
you where to
no,
go.
it's
My
a good open
experience
world in
with
this.
it. I remember feeling like I had a good idea of what I should be doing next, except for like one area with like the grand. It's like an elevator that you have to get 2 keys for, and I couldn't find the second key.
I got those 2 keys within the first 5 minutes of the game. That was like what I like. That he was just like, yeah, as you're going to this teleporter on the other side of the world, stop right here to get this thing. You're gonna need it later. I still don't know what it's for. I think it's for a big elevator, but I have them.
Yeah, lucky. I had to scavenger hunt for that shit. Like,
'Cause, like-
the way I play it, I try to do it not spoiled, but if I hit a point where it's like, okay,
Did you
it's
look it up?
not me bashing my head against an enemy, it's me trying to figure out where
Where to
fuck
go,
the
yeah.
thing I
Yeah.
need is.
Yeah.
So you
But
looked
like,
that up.
I don't know. There's a difference between like looking up when you hit a roadblock and like just looking up everything.
Everything.
Right?
Well, no, this wasn't looking up everything. This was I literally like the thing that started this off. The search word that I used was best samurai build Elden Ring. Pretty innocent, right?
Katana user.
Pretty innocent. Also, don't shit on me because I use
Katana
bleed.
user.
Don't shit
Ultra
on me.
great sword, heaviest armor you can do. It is the only valid way to play a Souls game.
But that
I am
such-
not biased at all.
You are. There
Zero
are better,
bias.
No, there are better ways.
I have the only correct opinion about how to play a Dark Souls game.
It's all about perspective, baby.
But like,
I was gonna.
you
no,
probably watched like 2 hours of YouTube videos before you even like got into an hour of gameplay, though.
Probably, yeah. That statement is more than likely correct. Somewhere around there.
I just like keep in mind, like, I'm not like Dan has a way better. When he's judging you, he's like at the top of the mountain looking down on you. I'm still kind of looking up at you and judging. So I'm gonna acknowledge the fact that like I'm judging, but I don't,
Judging
I don't,
upward?
yeah, I'm judging upwards because I don't play these games.
That's
but, like,
funny.
Getting judged.
No,
from
because like
both
the whole like
directions.
what that video told me was like, yeah, you're gonna want to get this like spell basically, or this Astral War is what they're called, and this sword, and then stop here and here to get XP. And I was like, oh, it seems innocent enough, kind of cheesing a little bit to get some good gear early on. No, there's a lot of cheese there. There's a lot of cheese.
like when you were
potential.
playing Sekiro, I specifically remember you would be watching, like, because in the back of my mind I was like, what the fuck is he doing? You'd be watching a Let's Play before you got to like you were
Sekiro,
like
no. Sekiro is, if I think Elden Ring is hard, Sekiro is nothing compared to Elden. It is so much harder. Like,
Which is probably true. I have heard
Elden
that.
Ring is hard because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Most of the time, I can kill enemies okay and get through stuff, and the bosses are like a little challenging. I've spent way less time on the bosses in Elden Ring than Sekiro by
well,
far.
to be fair, that's because you're 35 levels.
Well, no, I
Well,
looked it
I
up.
also
That's,
do think
that's
Elden
the
Ring is
appropriate
one of
level
the
you're supposed to be for
easier
those areas. I'm not
Souls
over
games.
leveled. I just avoided like
I
killing. a
thought
bunch
Dan
of
said
shit.
you were over leveled though.
No.
Yeah, you're kind of over leveled.
I looked
for
it
the
up.
area you're in.
Stormville Castle, you're supposed to be like level 30 to 40, 34 to 35.
Oh well, probably in that one area, but like every boss before then, you were probably over leveled for.
I didn't. That's the thing. I looked
You
up.
just
that.
keep skipping
no, Yeah, no.
bosses?
There's like a lot of stuff in Limgrave that I still have to do. I skipped like 3 bosses just because like I just didn't even know they were there.
Okay, what is the max amount of attempts you gave those bosses before you gave up?
Which ones?
Any? What is the most attempts?
I haven't given up. Oh,
Like,
Okay,
no,
no,
you
no,
did.
there was-
you
there
try
was-
bosses, and then like if you can't beat them, you like find a way around them.
oh, you're saying before I like.
So, yeah, how many times like do you try to kill?
I
the
don't figure out a
boss?
way around them. I figure out a way to go over them, which is like what I did.
Same.
That's the
same.
same.
No,
You're
around
just
them is
using a
not fighting
cooler
them.
sounding metaphor.
No, going around them is not fighting them. Going over them is fighting them. You just have to get like, like the levels. Like you're not
Damn.
gonna like be a level 1 and fight this level, like this boss, right? You're gonna like, if you try and fail, you're gonna like, all right, I'm gonna go grind up some levels
Okay, but
and
what
then
I
go
want to know
fight
is
them.
how many attempts have you done, whether you're going above or around?
I mean, honestly, not that
Like-
many. Like when I fought,
like
'cause
2, 3, and then you give up?
No, Margate was the first one. Like I really had trouble with, and I was getting close, but I couldn't finish it. And so I went out, and I didn't even know I could summon a sorcerer to help me. I thought that was like an enemy, so I didn't even touch that. And then I realized you could like summon that sorcerer, and I was like, okay, let me go grind out a couple more minutes.
So, but like
still is hard.
5 attempts though.
I don't know. I give it like it depends on how close I'm getting. Like there was the reason I was late was there was this fucking wolf I was fighting that was fucking me up, and I was getting, dude, literally one more hit would have killed him like 5 times in a row, but he kept murdering me
Yeah.
before I could do it. And I was like, I know I have this. So like on something like that where I just need to dodge like one more attack or like
Yeah.
that's the other thing, like learning their like mechanics too. Like that's such a huge part
Yeah,
of those
the
games.
attack patterns. Yeah.
So
want you
I
to
recognize
know
that, but
there's like concerted effort into not being a huge asshole about like Dark Souls stuff. I acknowledge I'm still probably being kind of a prick to you about it, but like the amount that I could be at.
no, trust me, I get it.
Because you were talking, and I think this
The
is a good
community
It is a
segue
universal
to-
thing in the Dark Souls
Yeah.
community to
They're-
shit talk people.
Yeah, no, they're menaces, dude. Like just going through the Elden Ring community, like I saw this dude just posting like a question about where to find this thing, and everyone was like, either figure it out or go to the wiki. Like, don't talk here, basically. And it was just like everyone, and I was
Which,
like,
if to be fair, if their sentiment was figure it out on your own, bar none, I would honestly understand that more than, figure it out or go to the wiki.
Yeah.
At that point, the wiki is the fucking same as a YouTube tutorial.
Or Reddit.
It's just,
It was on Reddit,
Yeah, so it's like
but-
the same info just delivered differently. So that doesn't make any sense.
And the
to me.
unique mechanic in the game too to leave messages for other people.
That's sick as shit.
That it is, and it like you can really see the community's attitude because they'll people be like, yeah, go left, it's fine, and then you go left, and you should not have gone left.
I love
I
the
love that
messaging
too.
system.
Yeah,
I have
it's
left
fun. It's
so
fun.
many of those like those
Troll
little
messages are
bit of
helpful.
trolling messages. Yeah.
Didn't someone leave a
Yeah.
message on
Are you
top of a
upset?
lever?
Yes,
that you
and I
had to-
couldn't use the lever.
Oh, that's great. They're so smart. I wish I was
them.
that smart.
But like, I love that. Also, we found out because obviously you can summon your friends to come help you. But because we looked up the details, if you get a summon into your game, you like break open the seal, right?
And other
at that
people can
point
join you.
forward, people can just randoms can come and invade
Yeah.
you, I think, and kill you,
Oh,
which I
was
think is a good
telling
way to
about
do
the
it.
PvP in Dark Souls or like Elden Ring, Souls games.
I hate that mechanic of it. I really do.
love the
That's
PvP.
sick,
That
though.
is the main
I mean,
thing.
it's a cool
like,
little
I'm
thing,
after.
but like that's
Like after you beat the bosses, like
You
I
beat
don't know,
'em
that's
again.
the test of
That's
skill.
what you do. That's some of the end
But,
game
like-
content.
no, you beat him again. You go into New Game Plus and
Well,
and
after
do it
you've
again.
done that,
Like-
2 or 3 Dark Souls players do nothing but play Dark Souls. Like, I mean, like, if not, that's an
Yeah.
exaggeration,
No,
but
that's-
like, if you like Dark
that's
Souls,
no,
there's
that's
not
the
many
kind of
games to
dedication you
torment
need to like really get into those.
So that's when
things.
you get into the PvP shit, you know.
Yeah, and like I see your point. Like like you can beat the bosses. Well, so can everyone else. Can you beat this player? I see that. I just have no interest in it.
I also just this is subjective, but like the sense of community and the fight
What
clubs.
sense of community?
It's hard to explain. No one has mics. You can't communicate with anything but these clunky gestures. But like everything about the PvP scene, like people have so much personality behind them. Are they doing some memey bullshit and taunting, every other attack? Are they a super optimized katana using motherfucker? Not looking at anyone.
Did you just
here.
wink at me?
I saw that.
not
I
looking at
saw a
anyone
wink.
here.
I am
saw,
a super
I can confirm
optimized.
a wink.
And
I
in
did
fact,
not. There is no video evidence.
I just want. It's funny too because where I'm at right now with the game was I just got my dream blade, like the one that I'm going to use for the rest of the game. However, I need to respec into a skill more, so I need to like beat the boss to respec. So I just looked up how to do that, and I'm there now. And that's the boss that I was trying to beat before I came here.
Yeah.
And ended up being that fucking wolf. Nah, there's another one.
Yeah.
I think she's
So-
like the Queen of Widows or Widow Queen or some shit like that. Widowmaker. I don't know.
From Overwatch.
Widowmaker Overwatch. That's in the game.
But yeah, I was gonna say because that was kind of what we wanted to talk about a lot today was mainly the general like community and to an extent it's definitely gatekeepy, right? Because you've had for the end of time. We're not the first people to talk about this. The should games be easier, right? I know there's like a specific debate of should Dark Souls and the Elden Ring games have an easy mode because right there's none of it, right? There's no
honestly-
easy mode you could do.
I think that there's already an easy mode. Like,
Yeah, do what
you
I
can
do.
look up
Literally,
crazy
yeah.
bullshit. You can do summons.
Yeah.
Like, there's always a way, around it or over it.
I firmly agree with Daniel on that. That is part of the experience of the game is throwing your head against the wall.
Yeah,
you
but-
have to overcome.
Like, it's
that.
not Dark Souls anymore after that. It's just such a
It's
defining.
Skyrim.
Like, I think games should be accessible, and if it's possible to just tilt the numbers and make the game easier,
Make a mod
you
or
should do
something.
that. Or you should have an option where people can turn a slider. But with Dark Souls, it's more like the game is designed to be hard, so you can't just change enemy stats to make it easier and have it still work the same.
But
'Cause
like,
it
I
loses
think
it.
you can though because like just as an example, Nintendo games are fucking phenomenal with these. Sometimes they're honestly way too accessible to the point where it's bleeding into the point of Pokemon games, right? Fucking
God,
I tried to play Sun and Moon. I was so hyped for that game. 3 hours in, I'm still in a tutorial. I gave up.
not Sun
I was
and Moon.
like,
The new one.
well,
Violet
the new
and-
ones, but I remember specifically
Oh, that one
getting
too?
back. I was trying to get back into Pokemon when Sun and
Yeah.
Moon was coming out. I was so hyped, whatever.
Dude, I don't
But-
like how dumb they made them.
yeah, it's so easy. So obviously you have to worry about that, but an actually really good example of a game is in the Mario Odyssey, the Switch, whatever. There's just a toggle that you can turn on that just I think there's a lot of Mario platformer games that are now that it's an option you turn on an accessibility option and say you fall off a cliff, it just kind of puts you back
Brings you
on,
back on.
right?
Yeah, it's easier,
and
yeah.
just very small, subtle things like that. And so I don't see the harm in say Dark Souls. I know the whole community is
That's-
built around
yeah,
that.
that's-
but it needs to be hidden, right? Because like there is like if you just show the player all of these options, some people may do easy when they need to be harder, right? Or like that's the thing about
that's the thing is it pushes you past what you're comfortable with. And like there's a lot of games that I love, like The Witcher. I've loved playing it on the easy difficulty and I've loved playing it on the hard difficulty, and I love the ability to do both. Dark Souls specifically, I really think it would ruin it because the whole game, it's like it's scary. Like the times where I'm screaming, like you know, that's part of it.
But like, what if the difficulty was a little bit lower, so you didn't feel the need to level up 35 times at the beginning of the game?
That's part of the whole appeal to, you know, is like min-maxing and like looking up and being very
like having to be a tricky.
I have to like figure it out. You know, I want a challenge because like there's very few games nowadays that actually challenge me. And I feel like as a kid when I was dumb and I didn't know what video games were. I felt like I was challenged a lot as a kid. Like Dark Souls make me feel like I'm a kid again playing like a game that I have no idea how it works. I've never played anything like this, but like it's an adult theme. Like shit is scary and will fucking kill you.
So one other argument is just what if we're looking at this from a pure accessibility option? Someone doesn't have a left arm.
There's
and
mods.
they have to have the Microsoft accessibility controller.
I mean,
and like maybe it's just no longer like playable
but like,
for them.
where do we put the onus on the company versus putting it on the community? Like, yeah, that's a very real thing, but like mods exist. I honestly think I could go to the PlayStation and mod it on the PlayStation to make it easier. Not even having a PC. I know on PC you could mod the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Matthew showed me a video of Elden Ring of One Piece characters fighting. Like you were fighting like Captain Whitebeard and shit like that.
Yeah.
FromSoft, I will say, they hand out bans like candy for like modding
'cause
their
it's
game
online.
really arbitrarily. It's not even like all mods. They aren't necessarily hostile to just modding, but like they won't say what is and isn't appropriate.
They're not clear.
And they'll just So like a lot of people that mod have to do it offline.
Yeah. But like
And that takes a little bit out, but like
I just like I don't know. It's like because obviously it's like you want games
I mean, it's like,
to be
but
for
what's the
everybody.
experience after that point? Like, it's not the story because the story is kind of like it's cool, and I like it because I already like those types of games. But it's kind of like incomprehensible as a plot to experience.
But I mean, like
It really-
just
no,
the
no, no.
general open worldnness and customization.
that's the thing,
But
the
there's
whole
like a
appeal of
ton
it.
of other games like
Breath
I
of
don't
the
know. I
Wild.
agree that games should be accessible, but for Souls games, that's just a part of the identity of those games is to be like a series of really difficult challenges.
You know what
And,
this
I mean,
topic
like I was
reminds
saying,
me of?
What?
What?
There was this tweet in response to a journalist who confessed to beating the Sekiro's final boss with cheats. And he goes, "You cheated yourself. Not only the game, but yourself. You didn't pro. You didn't improve.
Yeah.
You took a shortcut and
I
gained
love that
nothing.
copy pasta.
You experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked and nothing was gained.
Yeah.
It's sad that you don't know the difference.
Yeah. That is the whole sentiment behind it, is because it is such a challenge but it's doable. It is, I mean, not to everyone, of course,
the
like the
thing,
dude without
though.
the left arm.
Not to everybody, yeah.
But like at that point, like, I don't know if like,
just the sentiment of go play a fucking different game.
no,
to
not
me
even that.
feels
I feel like you
a
could,
bad.
if you,
I don't know.
okay,
I don't think it's
hypothetically, if
even
you didn't
like,
have a left
there are
arm,
already ways to make Souls games easier, and like, does it
But they're
have
all
to be
external.
like a continuum from difficult to like literally you can win this game by pressing W? Like, what's the lower end of easy that is all of a sudden completely accessible? Because there's already things you can do in game to make the game easier. So like, how many of those have to get added before it's easy enough to be considered accessible?
I mean,
by
that's
whatever,
a good point.
Whatever
There is
standard.
no.
and I'm also, I don't know, like, it's weird because it's such a whole spectrum of disability, but in general, it's like a curse. Disability is something like I feel like you're cursed with, right? And it's an obstacle like they have to overcome. And I'm not saying like that sounds really harsh. That's not, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. But like in general, like hypothetically the dude without the left arm, right? What's stopping him from being like, all right, well, this game is gonna be difficult. Let me mod out the fuck out of my
I mean,
controller.
yeah, there's like
you know?
professional streamers that like. There's a professional streamer. I don't know his name, but he plays like COD with his mouth.
Yeah.
Like
shit
he's got
that.
like a whole. But those are like just those are like the,
But that's the
examples of people can persevere, but that doesn't mean like the majority of
Specifically-
people are going to be able to persevere.
I'm talking specifically Dark Souls though, but that's the moral of the game is to persevere. And if you persevere with cheats, then
I don't know. I don't think like you should be looking at the morals of like the game.
That's
I
one of
think
the
you
huge
should
aspects
be
to
more
me is
looking
what
think
at
the
like
tweet
how
journey
much
was a
can you
little
like
ridiculous.
do to make this game easier while still making it like the same game.
Yeah, what were you saying? Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
What were you saying, Matthew?
I'm pretty neutral, but the tweet was a little dumb.
That was a dumb
Like,
tweet.
the
That
person
gets
kind of
copy
about the
pasted
response.
because
I mean, it's a
or-
dumb copy pasta, but I agree with the sentiment there. Like like a victory, like it's a hollow victory.
But the person,
Oh,
the
well.
reviewer probably enjoyed it. Now, if the reviewer, like,
I mean,
in his
yeah.
review, shat on the game because, like, he felt that the experience got ruined because he
No,
did that,
I'm-
then that would make sense. But
I'm not
he probably enjoyed it.
I'm not disregarding his enjoyment. If that's what if that's what you have to do to have fun, then do what you got to do to have fun. But like, it's not like in the sense of the overall scheme of it, right? There's like with the different tiers with the PvP versus PvE, right?
Yeah.
I personally focus on beating the story. Daniel wants to beat these players because they're a higher skill
Yeah.
level. You know, it's that same kind of like thought kind of pervading that.
Yeah, but I guess, like, what are you trying to, what is your, like, because you're saying that the person's response to the reviewer was valid, that, like, oh, you cheated yourself, you cheated the game. So you're saying, like, you believe that, like,
I mean, yeah, they did cheat, but if they got enjoyment, then they got enjoyment.
because that's what I was going to say, because what they did to me is no different than, like, what you're doing. I mean, like, maybe they did a more external cheat, right? Like an actual cheat. But, like, I'm sure 90% of the Dark Souls community, like you said, is pretty toxic and would describe
I
what
mean,
you're
I think
doing.
just
Yeah, they would
gamers
shit
in
on
general.
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
they shit on me regardless. I don't care.
Gamers are
I'm having
incredibly
fun.
toxic.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good
and
point.
we
too.
shouldn't like try to like gauge what our truths are based on the gaming
Yeah. I
I
communities
think
on
you
the
should
internet.
just
But-
never listen to gamers. If someone
Yeah, that's good
openly
advice.
admits to being a gamer, you should probably
just
just
trust
not
them.
talk to them.
But like,
Especially if they say they like Rick and Morty. That's like 2 red flags right there.
That's two. That's like a fucking.
but like, so it's just it's hard to get an answer. But it's like,
Because it's a spectrum
So-
for sure.
you know, it's like, okay, well, like I'm fine enjoying the game, you know, the way I'm playing it, right? With like doing these cool, like, because
Yeah.
it is cool, like you're fighting against the game and
see,
doing
the
this
thing
stuff.
with my philosophy too is eventually, like, what I say to those people who shit on like my build or whatever I'm doing, I'll fucking like eventually once I beat the game and I know what I'm doing, I'll go through it and I'll hard mode myself, like soft
Yeah.
lock it, you know, or not soft lock,
But like,
hard lock it, you know,
I guess it's just like
Nuzlocks with Pokemon.
some people may not be able to, like, you know, because also we're
But you
talking about
can't-
disabilities in terms of like physical disabilities.
But like,
know,
how are you
there's-
going to write every physical like, I don't know, like there's like accessibility in general, like is coming a long way, but there's no way you can like just expect everyone, because then you're talking about like company greed and like, oh, now they got to spend more money on making it accessible and like then they cut, you know, so it's like that's never going to happen.
Well, but you're right. We're never going to cover 100% of everything. I think the
Which is-
reason why Dark Souls is at the core of this argument, not even for us, but for the gaming community, is a lot of other AAA games do have accessibility options. Now, maybe some games don't have the best accessibility options, or maybe, you know, but they have a like colorblind options. I'm sure
Yeah.
Dark Souls is colorblind. You know, there probably
yeah.
are some accessibility, but like, they're at least getting some, right? Like if you can make the game more accessible for 60 to 70% of the players that need it, then like that's good. I mean, you're
Yeah.
not hitting 100%, but like I think the problem is Dark Souls is getting like none of that. Like there's no
I mean,
Again, I
that's-
disagree with you. There are natural things in the game
To make
that,
it easy, like what I
can make
did.
it easier. If you have 2 summons, like a lot of times you don't even have to hit the boss if your summons are good.
dude, yeah, like
And
those.
that's-
Like if the people
fair,
you
yeah.
summon are good at the game, they'll just beat it for you. Like
because you guys were saying
there's-
Elden Ring is like easier than the other Dark Souls games.
100%.
in my personal opinion, yeah.
No, like from what I've played for Sekiro, like the game is like you can cheese the fuck out of it. The summons thing is a really good point. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That is an accessibility option in my opinion, because you can just like unlock multiplayer, call in a high level, and then go around like exploring the open world. You don't have to fight things for the most part.
Yeah.
There's nothing like really that's like fight this or like you can't continue,
Yeah.
or like you have to fight this or you can't continue.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's just like I don't know. People are saying like put a difficulty slider on Dark Souls, but it's like
There
I
kind of
don't know how you implement that and make it not like a bad experience for even the person playing it on easy mode, just because of how the
Well,
game is
It's like
not
Pokemon.
getting
it's
a
supposed
two-shot.
to be hard.
It's like
Maybe you get
Pokemon in
four
reverse.
shot.
No, it's like Pokemon in reverse though, because Pokemon games in general make their games so easy that like the community makes them harder. Dark Souls is the opposite. The game are so hard, so the community comes up with ways to make them easier.
Okay, but keep in mind, I do think it is a lot harder to mod on
Dark Souls than
consoles.
Pokemon, yeah.
Consoles, so like PC, maybe there's more options, but at that point, you're still already talking about looking up a tutorial of how to mod the game, installing the right mods, making sure they're right. That is still like a kind of a barrier of entry that a lot of people aren't going to be able to overcome.
But are you asking for no barrier of entry? Like it's just like like you can just show up and
I just
hack
don't
and
think
slash?
it would be because Game Maker's Toolkit again. He used to every year he made at the end of the year he made a video about accessibilities in games, just how the accessibilities were going in the industry and stuff like that, and everything like that. So one of the things I remember him talking about is like you have to be careful with like having, say Dark Souls had a accessibility or had an easy mode, right? A lot of players, like maybe they fight a boss 5 times and they lose, and then they automatically, their instinct is to go to easy mode.
Yeah.
Right. And then they ruin the experience for themselves. So it's like you gotta like figure, I don't know. It's like there needs to be a decent way to like, I don't know. I think there is a solvable way to get
I think
an
the game
easy
does a
mode
really
in.
good job.
It's
I
like-
mean, aside from
I get
people with
kinda-
disabilities, it does a good job of making it easier, specifically Elden Ring too.
It just feels so
fuck,
vague
just
when people
tighten
talk
the
about
things.
like how do we make Dark Souls accessible? Because it's like, what is accessibility? Is accessibility being able to beat the game without, doing much of anything? Like you can walk forward, one-shot the bosses. Like, I don't know.
Well, I don't
is
think you
what's
even
already
need-
there definitively not accessibility, or like things that give accessibility? Is it just too hard? Even
That-
with those
yeah,
things,
I don't think you're ever gonna have because there's easy things like colorblindness, right? Like, do you
Yeah,
have
like those
accessibility for
automatic
that?
include
Those are
things.
easy checkboxes
Yeah.
to fill. But just in general, when you have a game that is so difficult, like all of the Dark Souls games, that inherently can just be, there's like the accessibility of cognitively, disabled, people and stuff like that, and so it's like. Just you don't have to get to a point where it's like, okay, every boss you can 5-shot, or every boss
that's
you can
what I'm
like.
saying. Like, what's already there, like you can beat the game with summons, and if your summons are good, you barely have to do anything. Like, there's already that lower bound
Of mechanic, yeah.
Like,
Same
you
thing for my-
barely have to do shit.
Same thing for my bleed belt in a sense. Like I can just now like the last boss I was caught up on. The thing I was caught up on was dodging him. I could like 5-shot him now.
Yeah.
Like
I
so
guess
what am I
there
supposed to
was,
do?
like-
2-shot him? Like
I
would
guess I
just-
wouldn't really be opposed to it, but like I don't know how you make it work, and I don't think the onus is on FromSoft to implement something like that when they already have other things which arguably do that.
'Cause
And
in-
whether or not you think those are accessibility options is a matter of debate. Like,
But like even with those things, like I'm gonna just say, like, say you couldn't do your like workarounds or your kind of exploits or the farming methods and stuff like that. If you just had to play the game like just straightforward, right? Like you would probably. Like that's the thing. I feel like
I would enjoy it less,
There would be a
absolutely.
way to do an easy mode where you don't have to do all of the exploity things, right?
I don't know.
And
I feel
just
like that
play the
kinda-
game more.
But that's how they included it. Like the exploity things, they didn't just conveniently forget that dragon like doesn't attack you if you attack it from
they
behind.
probably did.
Really?
I mean, the game's
Probably.
really big.
Yeah, that's a good.
I mean, and
point.
there's exploits everywhere, right? So it's like we watched a fucking speed
Well, the
run.
game's been out for
of
a year
the
now,
game.
though. Oh.
The game, or was that No, that was
Sekiro,
Elden
that was-
Ring.
no, we watched- it was Sekiro, yeah.
a Sekiro speed run that was beat in like a minute, or not a minute. Sorry, an hour.
17? No, it was 17 minutes. Was the
Yeah,
speed
yeah,
run
you're
with
right, you're right.
exploits, and then it went up to like what 25 with no exploits.
Boy, did they
Yeah,
run
there's
with
like all
some
these different
speed.
categories, but the way they do it is there's just a period of time where they glitch, where you like fall into the water, but then you glitch out of bounds, and then you can just fly
Yeah.
because the game thinks that you're swimming, and so you can just swim in the air,
Yeah.
or whatever. But like,
Local ninja swims through
I don't know. I feel like
all of reality.
there. Okay, like I feel like there was an easy way to just add any like just base shit, like like make it
I mean,
where
yeah,
the
scaling-
end game bosses don't do as much damage to you as they do in the normal game, right? Or you
But that
just
would
have a little bit
ruin
more
it.
health or stuff like that.
Like
and
every other game,
mean,
sure, but there's no game like Dark Souls. I mean, maybe there are, in like a niche, but like AAA wise, there's no game that like you just gotta fucking get good. Like the only way around it, like it is
there's
a
a lot
barrier.
of multiplayer games, right? Dota 2 we talked about earlier. You have to play 100 fucking hours.
Yeah,
in Dota 2
where's
to
the
even
accessibility
understand it.
options for Dota 2?
But that's
or
a
like
multi-
most
yeah,
we can't
MOBAs?
call out
Why is
everything here.
the I don't know. I
'Cause
guess
it's
I
this-
dislike that Dark Souls gets all the flack for this when there are so many games where there are these really high barriers to entry, but there's no way to get around
Or-
that. For a MOBA, there's no way to get
that's
around the
multi-
fact
No,
that you're
or
gonna
the
have to
thing that we're not
grind
talking-
out several thousand hours.
The
Why
thing-
is the single player game different?
The thing
Because,
that
like-
the thing that we haven't mentioned either is paywalls.
Also, Dark
well,
Souls
yeah,
is
that-
multiplayer game.
Barrier
But-
of entry wise,
so-
like, would you rather, like, what if easy players now, like, because everyone wanted easy, they're like, all right, here's a new version of Elden Ring, but you have to buy it for $50
Well, I
because
think
we had
that's
to.
dumb.
Yeah.
Because
But,
then
like,
they're just
but
paywalling
then we
the
just-
feature,
I
so
don't
I
know,
think
we
that's
put-
easy to just dismiss.
But like I'm saying, like,
It's
it's not
like-
a possibility for like I don't know, like that's just like that could be a
I don't know,
consequence.
I
now.
feel like
Yeah,
that's
for
a way
certain-
stuff could go. I don't think it's likely
But,
if
like-
they add in easy mode that they'll paywall it.
Yeah, but like to answer like your question, like there are like so say like a game like CS:GO or Dota 2 or Overwatch, you're against like other players, right? So it's like you can't like make the game easier for one player and not make the game easier for other player. You can have like just more traditional accessibility options, but with a game like Dark Souls, you're right. There would be no easy mode against PvP, right? If you turned on easy mode, it would have literally zero fucking impact on like PvP. But but there is a way to control against like when you're fighting the world, when you're fighting the AI, that is a thing that you could like control.
I
like
don't know. I think the game is
because
special
just like imagine
because
like
of its
an 8-year-old
difficulty.
playing Elden Ring, right? Like is your response
And
to
Elden,
them
first of all,
like,
an 8-year-old should not be playing Elden
My
Ring. The game is
response is
terrifying.
Lamau, eat shit, kid, get
Yeah.
good. But like, I get your point that
no, like there's a maturity rating there. Like first
and
of all,
I'm
like,
not even. Yeah,
that game is terrifying. It scares me, and I'm 23.
but I'm not even. Kids play COD like all the time now. Whether they
COD's
should
different.
be or not,
That's humans. That's human shit. Elden Ring throws like literally spider hands that fucking shoot fingernails at you. What is
Oh,
that?
man, you should play Bloodborne.
I
You have
want
a
to.
fucking PlayStation. Bloodborne is so much good.
I'm scared.
It's so good.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that game is like actually like pretty horrifying at times. It's like eldritch shit.
Because like if you just tell like
And also
a
just,
kid to like just eat shit, get
Eat
good,
shit, get good.
you're also telling like
say that was a joke.
Yeah.
no,
yeah.
but like you all overall think that probably there shouldn't be a.
No, I don't. I firmly
A-
don't
a-
think there should be.
so,
any
I
like,
think
sort
that
of,
there's already
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like I don't know, and like the people talking about it, like I don't think they're doing it in bad faith, but I think that a lot of the discourse is just really like it's redundant. It feels like it's the Dark Souls is the hard game, so it's where this is centered. But people will just ignore the fact that there are ways to make the game easier and talk about how there should be a difficulty slider for it. Like I feel like it's just
Yeah.
needlessly polarized.
I
No,
guess
'cause
just
you-
ultimately where it comes down to is like there are ways to get around it, right? Like,
But
what
like, should
Ryan's-
every
Red's doing,
single
or-
like single player game be obligated to have a difficulty slider?
I
Because
don't
not
think,
every
like,
single
it
player game
should have
does.
to.
But for some reason, Dark Souls games like they
And I think
need
that's
to have a
part of the
difficulty
charm.
slider.
Well,
I don't
a
know,
lot
that's
of other
part of the
games
charm that it
do have
doesn't.
So the reason people talk about Dark Souls is because Dark Souls is one of the only
hard games
that don't have a most hard games like have an easier option, right? Like you
Witcher's pretty hard if you play on
could
hard
make
mode, yeah.
Witcher hard or easy, right?
Yeah.
You could make a lot of these games hard or easy, but like all the Souls games, you cannot make it easier.
I just
I mean, it's like a
That's
lot
part
of
of
the
the charm.
difficulty too is like it's not even the enemy health numbers. It's like the situation. Like you're fighting a guy on a bridge, and another guy shows up behind you, and you stepped on a trap. So now there's a trap coming at you on this narrow bridge that you can't escape from.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
you
and
can't
then
adjust
still-
the numbers to make that easier.
Yeah, it's the
You're right.
because
There can still be moments like that,
Because
though.
honestly, like, and I don't even think I'm really cheesing the game that hard. I tried fucking around with like your normal like
Leveling
whatever.
up 37 times
Hold
at the
it,
beginning
I don't think
of
you
the game
understand.
is
that
big cheese.
I literally like instead of
can't-
grinding out those 37 areas.
But
and
you're
just-
not
not
supposed to
supposed to
grind it
grind.
out. You're just supposed to
Well, yeah,
get
explore.
good.
Explore the map, and yeah. But that's the thing. The game was so big that like by the time I got, because like the Stormville Castle area where you start it is like is not even that far from where you start the game. It's like right across the pond basically. And so like I just went straight, and I was like, oh, this is a wall. So I just got the levels I needed to just climb the wall. And instead of fighting the enemies to get that, I cheesed it and started.
And you had to use external measures.
Looking it up
Between tutorials, that's like ultimately like and like summons, right? Someone
we're
isn't
arguing
going
on the
to
same
know
thing.
that summons
the accessibility is there.
externally.
No. With summons, you could
Like
figure it
that's
out.
in the game, and they tell
But you didn't
about
even
that
know
in the
how to
game.
get summons to work until Dan explained it to you. And I'm not blaming that on you.
Yeah, no,
You're not
the game
a
is
dumbass.
complicated.
The game
Just the way
does
they
not
phrase it.
like. So if a new player is struggling, the new player is not going to know that summons is the answer to them struggling.
I figured it out the second I used those wolves. I was like,
that
damn.
was after you got someone sitting down with you.
No, Dan
after
didn't
you
figure it.
tried
No. Oh wait, actually, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Like so, like that's why I think that I don't think it would be the worst thing ever to have more internal things. Now, I think there needs to be a big way of
like,
how it's
I think
implemented,
that-
so people don't just
I think you're
use
right
it.
with like it needs to be internally explained well. Like, hey, this is how you summon people. Summons will make
Yeah,
the game
maybe the
easier.
easy mode just like
gives
explains
you more
things
tutorial
more.
options.
It just starts throwing fucking. It starts puking tutorials
Yeah, like give
at
you
you,
a,
right?
hints.
Like
do you want the 1 hour how to like not suck at this game
Yeah,
tutorial, or do
yeah.
you want to figure it out?
or
Or
like
like
if you
a-
die
like a
5
guiding light.
times.
Or like a guiding light or something that's like, yeah, this is where to go.
Or like if you die 5 times to the same boss, if you're on the easy mode,
Oh,
maybe
wait,
a tip appears that was like specifically made for that boss.
Yeah,
Do you not
'cause-
know about the like grace light?
I did tell him about that at the beginning
Like
of the game.
wherever
I don't
you know
think
how
he-
there's like those shiny particles that come
Yeah.
from the graces. Wherever they go out, that's the direction you should be going.
They
like
always
game
go
progression.
towards the grace.
Yeah, so they'll normally like point towards the next grace, or
Mm,
like there
nah.
will be like
I-
wisps of it pointing towards the next grace.
I've looked at those things extensively. They always like lead me to it and then they point me back to it. Like if I leave and I'm looking at it, it's pointing back to the grace.
No, I'm saying like when you're exploring an area, like
Yeah, I'll be led to it, but it won't tell me where to go. I
Well-
mean, maybe I'm just missing it. I'll look
Well, I
more
think
at
your
it's
it.
goal
like
is to just
subtle.
keep advancing like from one grace to
Yeah,
the
to
next
the other.
grace.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you aren't necessarily supposed to do like one thing then another. You're just supposed to explore more and more of the map until you've covered enough of it to be able to go to the next area.
Yeah, that's the exploration
So,
part.
maybe the conclusion of all of this is maybe,
Gamers should be outlawed.
gamers should be outlawed.
Yeah, if we just outlaw, like we said at the beginning of the episode, if we kill all the gamers, this won't be a problem.
We said that while we were preparing for the episode, but same vibe.
Oh, we didn't talk about that on camera. Yeah, we were gonna kill all the gamers.
All of them.
All the
So like
gamers- all the
me,
gamers
my whole
need to
family,
die.
Holden's whole family. I'm
If
pretty
they've
sure.
looked at Candy
If anyone's
Crush,
still
they're a
watching or
gamer.
listening to this, they're probably dead too.
Fuck.
But like,
Yeah, because why?
Gertrude's
Yeah,
still
because why
alive.
would you listen to? Gertrude would live
Yeah, Gertrude's a fucking trooper.
yeah, Gertrude's
because
just
she's too old to
listening
play video
this.
games.
I mean, we've talked about gaming on here before. and
Right, but
she's
Gertrude
consumed
doesn't know about
content.
that. She like watches it because she has to, but she doesn't.
She
touch
doesn't
the
know
magical
what we're
boxes.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh man, so
She's
it's
like, "What are these Dark Souls they're talking about?
Are they satanic souls?
Are they demons?" No, she's probably praying for us right now. She's like, "Dear Lord, please save them from these dark souls and the
From
Elden
the
Rings
Dark
that will
Souls."
scare them at night.
Elden Ring.
So
Put this young man on the path of the Lord." Fuck you, Gertrude. I'm sorry,
yeah,
but I'm not.
So, I'm sure later tonight you'll be smashing your head.
Yep.
Or actually, no, not smashing your head because you're gonna like find some
No,
way
no,
around
I
it.
have the boss in front of me now.
You just got to get good.
There's a boss in front of me,
You
so
just
I just
got to
gotta
get
get good.
because
I'm appropriately leveled. I might go get some more smithing stones to upgrade something, but
Yeah.
like that's not cheese.
the one thing I want to bring up before we end this, because I feel like we have to bring up the difficulty thing, is there was a if any of you guys remember, I know Matthew knows this incident, the Cuphead incident, where I think it was like an IGN reviewer was like trying to review Cuphead, and like he was showing his first minutes of gameplay, and he spent 5 minutes in the tutorial. Straight up, all the tutorial was like jump up to this platform and then like double, like there was like an additional like
Jump, yeah.
double jump and shoot at the same time or something, and he just like he couldn't do it. And I think like he finally like did it after like 5 or 10 minutes, and so like everyone always like makes fun of him, but like unironically, now he's a game reviewer, right? So like it is
I
kind
think
of
it's pretty
okay
funny
to
when
make
games
fun of him.
journalists are awful at
Yeah,
games.
Yeah.
like that is your fucking job, right? But like there are people that like are not going to be able to like, you know, like I know a big thing is quick time
play
events.
cup-holded.
Like quick time events.
yeah.
Some people literally like cannot press that fast like due to like literal disabilities. So like I know like there are like easy options
No,
that
Ghost
are
of
like
Tsushima
hold.
did that, yeah.
Right. You could just like hold it if you need it to, you know. So there is basic stuff. So I think we've come a long way of accessibility, which helps
what I'm saying, it's there.
make the challenging, you know, should Dark Souls have a hard mode or easy mode less important? You know, when you have all these accessibility options, you can just start checking things on to like make it easier, you know. But I don't think it'd be the worst thing if
You just want it to be easier to make it easier. Like, do you want it to be easy to make it easy versus making it hard to make it easy?
well, I just think that people should have an option to have it be easier. I just think it needs to be
do.
very carefully added so someone doesn't just turn it on and turn it off.
You're just
Right, you know?
fucking scarred from when you tried to play Dark Souls 2 and you accidentally joined that thing.
If you ever want to play Dark Souls 2 again, let me know. It's my favorite Souls game.
Gotta get good. I mean, because like I understand that just gotta get good, right? Like I play roguelikes. Like I heard you like talking at the beginning of the game, before we were recording, right? Like so I understand that sentiment, and that's why I like stuff where like roguelikes, where a lot of the times it's somewhat easy to beat the game, or like you have to play a couple hours and you'll figure out how to beat the game, and then there's like, oh, now you're on difficulty level 1 and difficulty level 2, difficulty, and like so you're like
You're scaling it.
You're physically versus like Elden Ring or not Elden Ring, more Dark Souls games are I'm gonna fuck you up and you are gonna like it.
That's what Sekiro is. That's what Sekiro is. It started off, I was scared of the game, and over time, I'm like, oh, I can beat these guys if I follow the instructions. They don't tell you what the instructions are. You have to watch the instructions happen.
So maybe they should do something where, now to be fair, Nintendo does it in a really bad way. Even if you don't have the accessibility options in some games, if you die to the same level 5 or 10 times, it'll be like, do you want to play as like Golden Mario or something? And like you have to keep saying no, and it feels so bad because you're like, fuck you, game. Like, no, like I don't. But I think like if you had an option that enabled those things, so maybe it doesn't make everything easier, but it like if you die 5 times to the same boss, it'll give you a tip, or like
I like tips.
We all like tips. We all like a good shiny salivating tip.
Can I put mushrooms on my tip?
Bro, I zoned out for a little bit. What
We're
the fuck
talking
are we
about mushrooms on our tip.
Mushrooms on your tip.
Would that pass like the blood barrier?
No,
I don't know.
Not unless you
we'll
cut up
find
your
out.
dick.
I think you have to
Next
digest them.
episode.
We should
I don't
probably
really
get some
know.
food. We've been here for
No,
15 hours.
Let's go get
Science.
some. We're gonna get some penis mushroom tipped penises, and
Yeah, Applebee's has them.
There will be great penis envy for penis mushrooms.
so we appreciate you guys watching, and let us know
Why are
if
the
you
lights
think
coming back on?
Flappy Bird should have a hard mode, and yeah, with that,
Have a good one.
goodbye.
Bye.